A very good morning to you. Thank you for choosing Metropole TV. This is Business Center, where we are taking a shift and taking a look at what's happening in the agriculture sector. And in studio right now, I'm joined by Salim Eceolaza. He's the Managing Director for Simbisa Brands in Kenya. This is a brand that is behind companies or other outlets like Galitos. We have the Chicken Inns, you have the Pizza Inn. We'll be having a discussion on just how the company is doing in Kenya and amid COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us, and thank you so much for coming to our studios.
Thank you, Victoria.
All right, let's begin with, you've been in the country, rather Simbisa group of companies in Kenya for over 20 years now. How would you describe, rather, how was the business in Kenya for you in the last 20 years?
Victoria, thank you firstly for having me on your show. Like you've rightfully pointed out, Simbisa Brands has been in Kenya since 1998. Kenya is an incredible country. The people are exceptionally hospitable. The workforce is of high quality. The consumer is very accepting and willing to try products. So we've been accepted by Kenyans, and we're happy to have been done so. Our main brands are Chicken Inn, like you said, Pizza Inn, Creamy Inn, Galitos, and Baker's Inn. And we have dominant presence within Kenya.
Let's talk about your market share with all these brands in place. What's your market share currently in the country?
That's a very difficult number to determine because we compete with every restaurant offering. So if you consider your local restaurants, your food chains such as Java, such as Art Cafe, KFC, Domino's, Pizza Hut, there's quite a big number of restaurants on offer. So it's not a very easy number to determine, but what we can say is that we try and serve as many Kenyans as possible.
All right, with that in mind then, we've seen COVID-19 came in March this year in the country, and a lot of businesses were affected under this COVID-19 pandemic. How are things on your end? How was COVID-19 affecting, rather, how has it affected your business?
Yes, Victoria, I think no business was spared. That's safe to say. It was exceptionally, and still is exceptionally challenging. We had to relook at how we engage with our consumer, how we engage with our landlords, how we engage with our suppliers, how we also engage with our staff. Our most valued asset is our people. So at first we had to really look at the protocols. How do we keep our staff safe? So it's sanitizing, it's protocols to make sure that they are first and foremost catered for and looked after from a health perspective. Secondary to that is how do we make sure our customers are also feel safe? So there were also protocols we had to put in place, and those were something we focused on quite severely. I'm very proud to say we didn't even let any staff go. We made sure that we looked after our staff, and our staff looked after our business. It was such a symbiotic relationship. We still continue to experience challenges. It's not yet over. So you take each day as it comes. But what our primary aim is to make sure that we can still be relevant to the Kenyan consumer. We're a business that purely receives supplies from local farmers. All our produce, our chicken, our potatoes, our chips, our oil, all come from Kenya. We've made sure that we have constant and reliable supplies. And that's been very important for us as a business. And I think it's, like I've said, it's a symbiotic relationship where you find we've even become close with our suppliers, even closer with our employees, even closer with our consumers. So what I can say, it's been a revelation because we've had to look deep into making sure that the relationships that we have are stronger during this challenging period.
As you rightfully said, you receive a lot of your, rather 100% of your supplies coming from the local farmers. And with the COVID-19, we had travel restrictions, and some farmers who had even problems distributing their products to their customers. So how are things for you, and how did you manage to get these supplies from the farmers amid the COVID-19 restrictions that were there?
Fortunately enough, we have, like I've said, deep relationships with our suppliers. So it's communication. We made sure we understood their problems and that they understood our problems. And we found a solution together. So you'll find today the relationships we hold with the farmers, with the suppliers, are stronger than before. So I would say, look, I think it was listening to each other, it's understanding one another, and being there to support one another. And at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure that we all could weather this very difficult moment.
In terms of revenues, how would you describe in terms of how much you underwent in terms of losses under the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, we're a listed company, so I'm not I don't have the ability to talk about numbers, but what I can say is that we tried to make sure that we could cater for the customer. I think that was our big focus, because the consumer still wanted to eat our products. The consumer still wanted to have a taste of chicken in, pizza in, have creamy in. That was our big priority. So it was our purpose, and that's what we wanted to focus on.
And as a lot of your customers, we saw many people lost their jobs, and those who are still working, they had their salary cuts. And did you see this effect to your business in terms of having to close some of your branches because they were not making money, because the people you're depending on to buy your products then did not have the money to consume, considering the the kind of product that you have there for the middle and high end? So did you have to close any of the branches because of lack of maybe not enough customers in those branches?
Yes, the customers were reduced, and for obvious reasons. But what was the reason is because we wanted to contain the spread of coronavirus. So we all understood that. So I think it would have been wrong for us to close shops because we're trying to reduce the number of the spread of COVID. So for us as a business, we made the decision and the commitment to keep all restaurants open and trading, irrespective of the number of customers. And that was our commitment, because we believe that's what we're there for. So fortunately enough, we didn't have to close any restaurant.
Oh wow, you are among the few lucky ones then. And let's talk about in terms of a recovery plan, because there's so many industries and so many businesses that were affected, and they are on a recovery path. What's your recovery path?
Well, our recovery path is to continue to do what we're supposed to do, which is to offer our consumers, our valued consumers, great value for great products in the manner and taste that they want. That's our purpose. So Chicken Inn, even right now, we're running a super promotion where if you buy the 2 pieces, you get 1 extra piece for free at 300 bob. We've got great offers at Pizza Inn where you can buy large pizzas, buckets, and a Coke for a very reasonable price, 1,000 shillings. So what we are driven by is to make sure that the whole value chain, like you've said, if we make sure that the farmer is able to grow and sell his product and process it at Simbisa and sell it to a consumer, then the whole ecosystem is healthy. So we believe if we do that correctly, then we are definitely on the path to recovery. And it's just to build and build and build on that. And that's our purpose.
Right. And you mentioned that a lot of your products come from the local farmers. And let's talk about the chicken. We have a lot of people rearing chicken. What's the source of your chicken right here in Kenya? So
we have local suppliers that supply us with chicken. And what's very important is the quality has to meet certain standards, health protocols that are very strict, size protocols that are very strict, and consistency. As you can probably appreciate, you don't want one day to come and have a piece of chicken that looks like this, and the next time it's like that. So we have very strict protocols on how we measure our suppliers, and that's very important to us. So you'll find that's been consistent over a period of time. And on that note, there's been a call and a push, and people trying to get those healthy foods. And how have you been able, rather, how are you incorporating healthy eating in your outlets? So I think it's all about, we do not dictate to the consumer what he should and shouldn't eat. It's the consumer decides based on taste, preference, and palate. So what we do is we make sure we give them value. We have quite a good offerings. If you look at our Pizza Inn, we have from your very meaty pizzas to even your veg offerings. So it all depends on the palate of if you want fried chicken, flame grilled chicken, if you want smoothies, if you want ice cream, we cater for everyone. And that's how we've tried to address the different preferences for consumers.
And you're in the market with a lot of competition from American brands. We see the KFCs, the Pizza Huts. What gives you the confidence, or rather, how do you stay afloat in this tight competition from people who are offering the same services as you?
Okay, but no disrespect intended to international and foreign brands, but you'll find they're very strong Kenyan brands actually. Victoria. That is where the bigger competition is, because they understand the consumer too. It's very different palettes. So you find the competition is international, it's local, and all we can do is to make sure that we are consistent in what we do. And we make sure we can provide the consumer what they expect from us. So competition is very good. It keeps you honest. It keeps you focused, and it allows you to always keep engaged with the consumer. And that's what we will listen to the consumer, and we try and deliver consistent value.
And how has that changed the dynamic of your business?
What's this?
With the incoming of all these other brands, international, they brought in a new, they bring in a new way of doing business. How has this, them being in the market with you, changed your dynamic of doing business?
I don't think it's changed our dynamic of doing business. I think, like I've said, we welcome competition. Funny enough, the biggest competition are the local brands, I think. You'll find they're very good brands in Kenya, such as Java Art Cafe, very local and Kenyan developed. So it's all competition, and all we can do is to make sure that we give value to our consumers. And that is the name of our game. Through our brands, we try to deliver consistent value to our valued consumers.
And let's talk about coming year 2021. What's your outlook for the year?
We're optimistic about the future. There'll always be challenges in business, but we know our customer. We want to meet the customer promise we've made, and it's through that consistency, through value offerings, through customer engagement. That is how we believe we'll continue to grow through 2021.
How about the future then? That said, your future plans in terms of expanding in Kenya and the entire region? Well,
the way we look at expansion is that we must be where our consumers are. We must deliver where they want the food. So as long as that requirement is still there, we will continue to expand. We are a big employer. We employ quite a number of people. So we have a massive stakeholder presence, and it's to make sure that we can continue to employ people, provide support for many families through our employment programs, support many suppliers through our trading relationships, support a lot of landlords through our renting arrangements. So that's what actually drives us, because we believe that we should be part of the economy. We should be contributing to the growth of the Kenyan economy. And that is a big motivation for us. So the future is determined by that. Great operating friendly environment. The government has done everything to make sure that we can trade and supports growth of business. And that's our commitment, by making sure that we can continue to employ people and continue to support local farmers.
And sir, what do you see as the challenge in the business and going forward?
I think a challenge will be maybe perhaps just making sure that we don't have too many shocks and chains of policy and changes. So long as the operating policies remain the same and not drastic changes, That's what you'd always hope for in business, consistent policy programs.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us.
Victoria. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. That's been Salim Eceolaza, the Managing Director, Simbisa Brands in Kenya, speaking to us on just various dynamic issues on the business, just how they are doing business right here in Kenya. Thank you so much. We'll be back with the next second part of this show. I'm Victoria Munga.